The neon sign of Hollow Feast Diner flickered weakly against the midnight rain. The letters buzzed, glowing red for a moment, then black. The empty parking lot gleamed with puddles reflecting broken light. Evan pulled his car into the lot. His friends Cassie, Mark, and Julie climbed out. Their laughter filled the air. They had heard rumors about this diner, abandoned since the 1980s. The stories claimed waiters vanished, guests never left, meals arrived without being ordered, yet the group treated it as a joke, daring each other to spend the night inside. The glass door creaked open under Evan's push. The bell above jingled, though the air inside was thick and stale, the smell of old grease mixed with something sweet and rotten. Red leather booths lined the walls, cracked and torn. Menus lay on each table, the pages damp, smeared with stains. The jukebox in the corner clicked, though no one touched it. Julie wrinkled her nose, whispering that the place smelled like spoiled meat. Mark grinned, calling her paranoid. He slid into a booth. Dust rose from the seat. Evan joined him. Cassie pulled out her phone, recording their adventure. Her flashlight caught the counter lined with napkin dispensers, ketchup bottles collapsed sideways, and a pie under glass, mold growing across its surface. Suddenly, a light above the counter blinked on, buzzing. The coffee machine gurgled. Though it was unplugged, black liquid dripped into a chipped mug, steaming in the cold air. Julie gasped, asking who turned it on. Evan laughed nervously, suggesting timers, though no clock ticked. The diner seemed locked in a time that never moved forward. A menu flipped open by itself, pages fluttering as though touched by invisible hands. It stopped on a dish titled The Final Course, Cassie recorded, her voice shaking with awe. Mark smirked, reading aloud the description. A meal you can never forget. Suddenly the jukebox crackled. A tune played, soft and distorted, like a love song twisted into something wrong. Plates rattled on the counter, one by one sliding toward their booth. Each carried steaming food, burgers bleeding dark juice, fries coated in red glaze, pie dripping with thick syrup. Julie pushed the plate away, gagging, but Mark took a bite, chewing noisily, laughing at their disgust. Then he froze, eyes wide, body trembling, crimson liquid spilled from his lips. He convulsed, his skin paling, veins bulging dark beneath his face, his mouth stretched unnaturally wide. He screamed, but no sound came, only the grinding of bones. His body collapsed against the table, his skin shriveled, his eyes melted into empty sockets. Yet his grin remained, wide and stiff, his hands still clutching the half-eaten burger. Cassie screamed. Evan pulled her back. Julie sobbed uncontrollably. The jukebox changed to static. Then a voice whispered through the crackle. "Order up!" The diner lights flickered violently, all booths filled with shadowy figures, silhouettes of past diners, their heads bowed, each slowly turned, revealing eyeless faces dripping dark liquid. Cassie dropped her phone, the screen still recording, capturing the faceless crowd rising from booths. They moved stiffly, necks cracking, arms reaching, whispering, "Stay, stay, stay." Evan dragged Julie toward the kitchen door. They crashed through. Metal shelves lined the walls. Pots clattered to the floor. The smell of rancid meat was unbearable. A butcher's block stood in the center, knives rusted, cleavers lodged in wood, the surface wet with dark streaks dripping into drains below. The sound of slurping echoed beneath. Julie backed into a freezer door. It swung open, revealing hanging shapes wrapped in butcher paper, each labeled with names. One tag read, Mark. Another tag read, Cassie. Cassie shrieked, slamming the door shut. Evan cursed under his breath. The lights buzzed overhead. The walk-in freezer rattled. Voices inside begged to be let out. Some sounded familiar. Julie fell to her knees, whispering she couldn't breathe. Her chest heaved violently. Her skin cracked like porcelain. fragments peeling away, revealing a hollow cavity filled with writhing worms. She clawed at Evan's arm, screaming without lungs. Her body crumbled into pieces, collapsing into a pile of dust and crawling insects. Her eyes rolled across the floor like marbles. Cassie vomited, shaking uncontrollably. Evan pulled her toward the back exit, but the door was gone, replaced by tiled wall, grease stains forming words, "No check, no leave." The kitchen roared with the hiss of frying pans, though no one cooked. Flames licked upward from empty skillets. The smell of burning hair filled the air. Evan swung a knife from the counter, shouting threats, but the utensils lifted by themselves. Knives hovered, pointing toward him. Pots rattled, pans clanged like applause. Cassie grabbed his hand, pulling him toward the pantry. They shoved inside, slamming the door. Darkness surrounded them, shelves stacked with jars, each filled with floating eyes and tongues. The lids popped open, the organs pressed against the glass, whispering in unison, "Eat! Eat! Eat!" Their voices crawled into her skull. Cassie clutched her head. Blood trickled from her ears. Evan kicked the door, bursting back into the kitchen, but Cassie collapsed. Her body twitching, she screamed as her stomach swelled grotesquely, splitting open. Dozens of pale hands clawed outward. Her face stretched until it tore. She dissolved into shadows that spread across the tiles, forming words that pulsed like veins. "Your turn." Evan stumbled into the dining room. The booths filled completely. Faceless patrons stared, their mouths opened wide. A chorus of growling hunger erupted. The sound shook the floor. The counterbell dinged sharply. The shadowy waiter appeared, tall, suit torn, and stained, no face, only a black void. He held a silver tray covered by a dome lid. Evan begged to leave, but the waiter placed the tray before him, lifting the lid, revealing Evan's own head, eyes still blinking, mouth moving, whispering, "Sit down." Evan screamed, but his body froze, muscles stiffening, his skin tightening. He slumped into a booth. His reflection in the window showed him smiling like a mannequin. The faceless diners clapped slowly, their hands slapping wetly. The jukebox played again, the tune now clear. Last call for Hollow Feast. Morning came. The neon sign buzzed faintly. Another car pulled into the lot. Laughter drifted as new voices approached. The diner bell jingled softly, welcoming its next guests.